Good evening, everyone. This evening is our monthly meeting of the Board of Adjustment. We are committed to a transparent process and encouragement of public comment during our meetings. We will be accepting testimony from all parties. If you wish to testify on any particular petition before us this evening using the Zoom platform, please use the raise hand feature. You can raise your hand at any time and we will recognize you at the appropriate time for the presentation of evidence for each case. If in person, please hand staff your speaker's card. Planner Robin Keefe will be moderating the hybrid meeting and will be asked to provide names of those individuals that wish to speak. I would like to call the meeting of the City of Wildwood's Board of Adjustment to order. The board members present today are Bob Morris, board member, Kevin Lux, board member, Arnie Sprunger, board member, Michael Lee, alternate member, will be Zooming to start and will be joining us in person shortly here, and myself, Jared Frank, chair. The Department of Planning staff present is Joe Vunich, Director of Planning, and Robin Keefe, Planner. City Attorney John Young and Court Reporter Courtney Talman are also present via Zoom. First, I offer into the record the affidavit of publication pertaining to today's meeting, November 16th, 2023, and take official notice of the zoning ordinance of City of Wildwood, including Chapter 400, Article 2, authorizing establishing the Board of Adjustment's powers and duties. Now let me explain the hearing procedure. Please be aware the information I'm about to describe is also provided on the Board of Adjustment public hearing procedure handout, which was available online prior and up to tonight's meeting. This hearing is informal in its nature. However, the meeting's proceedings will be recorded by a reporter for future transcription if needed. The petitions are called in the order listed on the agenda. As the petition is called, I will ask a Department of Planning staff member to read each request into the record. Thereafter, the Department of Planning will have an opening remarks and a brief slide presentation. Then the petitioner or his or her representative will be asked to state their name, address, be sworn in by the court reporter, make a brief presentation to the board explaining the nature of the requested variance, and present such evidence and witness testimony that may evidence the practical difficulties or unnecessary hardship that warrant the variance. The board will only consider the unique character of the property to determine whether they warrant the granting of a variance. Board members may ask questions to clarify the facts of the petitioner's presentation. When the board is satisfied with the material presented by the petitioner, the chair will then ask if there is anyone present or online who would like to speak in favor or opposition to the requested variance. Each speaker will be asked to provide their name and address, be sworn in, and then provide their evidence and oral testimony. Procedurally, the petitioner may request a continuance at any time during the hearing, prior to a call for the vote, in order to bring additional evidence or testimony. The board may also continue the proceedings. After the submission of testimony and evidence from all interested parties, the board will ask a staff person to provide the Department of Planning's report on this matter. If requested by any member of the board, the petitioner, or any individual that is participating in person or online. Once all witnesses have been heard, the chair will call for a motion to grant or deny with or without conditions. Then the board will vote. At that time, the presentation of evidence relating to the petition is concluded and no further evidence will be permitted. The board may make a decision today. 4 members of the board must vote in favor of the variance for it to be approved. If a variance is approved, the petitioner has 6 months to obtain the necessary permits or establish the use, or it will expire. If the board's decision is unfavorable, the petitioner has the right to appeal to the St. Louis County Circuit Court. This appeal must be done within 30 days of the decision. Ms. Keefe, are there any questions at this time?
At this time, if you are online and have a question, please use the raise hand feature, or anyone in the audience if you have a question. No. Mr. Farmer, did you have a question?
I didn't have a question. I was just here to speak about the Westland Farms fence when that time comes.
Thank you. There are no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Farmer. Absolutely. We'll get to that. Hearing no other questions at this time, the meeting will proceed. The department, please read the first request into the record, which will be followed by a brief slide presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The first case tonight is BA 26-23 West Glen Farms Homeowners Association 16301 Fullerton Meadows Drive, Wildwood, Missouri 63011, care of Wes Flesher, trustee, request an exception to the minimum yard requirements general for the purpose of constructing a new fence 10 feet in height and 36 feet in length upon a portion of the common ground area located at 16248 Fullerton Meadows Drive, locator number 23U 421143, West Glen Farms subdivision, plat 1, lot 906, which would authorize a rear yard setback distance of 10 feet in lieu of the required 30 feet. This request is contrary to the requirements of Chapter 415.140 R3, 10,000 square foot resident district regulations of the City of Wildwood zoning ordinance and Planned Environment Unit, parenthetical PEU, amended ordinance 8453, approved by the St. Louis County Council in 1977. The fence is a chain link type, but vinyl coated and to be black in color. This particular property is located in Ward 4. And before Ms. Keefe begins her slide presentation, the department would like to introduce into the record the following items. Chapter 400, Article 2 of the City of Wildwood Municipal Code, the Board of Adjustment. Chapter 415 of the same City of Wildwood Municipal Code, the zoning ordinance. The file that has been developed and maintained by the Department of Planning regarding this request and all contents contained therein, including the department's report with recommendation. And then finally, any other items that are offered as part of tonight's hearing in terms of testimony, evidence, plats, etc. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Munoz.
Okay, Mr. Chair, members of the board, our first case this evening is located within the West Glen Farms subdivision and in their common ground area, which was created at the time of platting this over 400 lot residential area. It is located in northeastern Wildwood at the border of at its border with City of Ellisville. The surrounding area is residential in character. This particular lot is 10,455 square feet in size. The access to the lot is from Fullerton Meadows Drive. And in fact, there's a temporary turnaround area with a portion of it located within the common ground area. So a portion of this lot is the concrete surface of this turnaround area. And it also has a well-maintained turf with a line of mature trees along the eastern property line. There are no structures upon it. It is zoned R3 and is located within a planned environment unit approved by St. Louis County. The trustees or the homeowners association of West Glen Farms is proposing to install a fence upon this common ground area, which would be 10 feet in height along the property line, actually just before the tree line of this common ground area. This fence is 4 feet greater than what would be allowed, requiring this variance. As noted in the agenda language, it is of a chain link type, but it is black and vinyl coated. It is 36 feet in length. The intent of this fence is to preserve this area as recreation space for the surrounding neighborhood and protect those using the area from the adjacent or abutting new development project going on in the city of Ellisville. This is the common ground area. And sorry, my mouse isn't working very well. And this is the turnaround area. We are looking northeast. This is Fullerton Meadows Drive. All right, this is another look at the common ground area and the adjacent neighbor to it. This is looking east towards that tree line. This is looking south along Fullerton Meadows Drive. This is looking east towards that tree line. We are within the common ground area and looking at some of its recreational characteristics. Joe, I might need you to go over there and click for me because my clicker is not working. All right, so here we are looking. Okay, so here we're looking towards that new development located within the city of Ellisville. We're looking east. Next slide. And this is just another look at it so you can see the expanse of it, looking east. That concludes this portion of my presentation. If you have any questions, the department is available to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Keefe. At this time, will the petitioner please come forward, state his or her name, address, relation to the property, and then be sworn in by the court reporter?
Hey, guys, I'm actually on Zoom tonight. I'm sorry about that.
All right, Mr. Farmer, we'll get you, if you could just state your name,
Sure.
relation to the property, and then we'll get you sworn in.
Sure. Joe Farmer, 2371 West Club Terrace Court. I'm the president of the HOA and also the council member for Ward 4.
Welcome, Mr. Farmer. We'll get you sworn in.
Just raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Farmer, if you could please state the necessity of the variance and the practical hardship or the practical difficulty necessitating the variance.
Sure. So as you can see on Robin's presentation, this is an area where basically the kids on the street play a lot of soccer and volleyball. And it happens to back up to a new development that Ellisville has been working on for, it feels like forever, but I think it's just a couple of years now. It's currently mostly a large rock field, but there's a bit of a drop. So it's not great for kids. And when the building comes in, it's going to be very close to those homes. So we'd like to try to keep the balls and everything else where they're supposed to be. So the only other place in our subdivision where we have chain link fence is our other recreational area, which is our tennis court. So they kind of align in what they're going to look like there. And it's just going to kind of keep the kids safe and keep us from dropping balls into a big area. I mean, the kids over there use it a lot, and we think the 10-foot keeps the volleyballs and the soccer balls not getting kicked over the fence, hopefully, just at the fence.
Anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Farmer?
Just that it's been something we've talked about for quite a while. I think we've got, I believe Travis sent over a letter from the homeowner that's directly adjacent to this common ground that's very much in support of this. Pretty much everybody is excited to get it in there, and we've got a bid. So hopefully we can maybe even get it installed here before the end of the year, which would be great if we could get an approval.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Farmer. At this time, we'll open up for any board members might have questions for the petitioner. So, seeing none from the board, any speakers in the audience who may want to speak in favor or opposition to the request? If you'd like to come up to the podium, please, or if you could state your name, relation to the property, address, and we'll get you sworn in.
Oh, okay. James Garza at 16239 Fullerton Meadows, across the street from this, right across the street from there. And what, I'm sorry, what?
And we'll get you sworn in with the court reporter here, Courtney.
Just raise your right hand. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Floor is yours.
Is that a?
Yep, go ahead.
I just had a question.
Oh, sure.
I'm not sure where, you said 36 feet. I wasn't sure where that ended. Does it go by the road itself, the Fullerton Meadows, the dead end? Or does it end right before there? I saw the map, the schematic.
So the 36 feet is along that tree line.
Yeah,
at
that
the-
extends past my property though, too. So I didn't know when that ended, where that ended, the fence.
Be able to pull up pull
Yeah,
the
I can-
picture again and maybe Mr. Farmer, if you
Yeah,
can maybe assist us with where your thoughts are on where this is gonna end.
Yeah, the general idea was it's gonna go basically where the grass is and then where the little turnaround is. It's not it shouldn't be going behind anybody's house or anything like that.
That's all I had. But I just still want to make sure it didn't go. It's gonna be on. That's all common ground by me too, so I don't know how.
Basically, for the property.
Any
Yeah,
other,
like, yeah, it's just to the grass and like the turnaround portion. It's not even to the end of the actual street.
okay, thank you, Mr. Farmer. Any other questions or comments in favor or opposition to this request?
If you are online, please use the raise hand feature. I see no raised.
Thank you. Would anyone like to hear an oral presentation of the department's report? Seeing none, would the department like to make any final comments, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair and members of the board, the Department of Planning is supporting this particular request, and the support is premised, quite frankly, on just the limited impact caused by a 36-foot section of fence that's 10 feet in height along a common boundary with a new development site and a common ground area for the subdivision. We believe the impact will be minimal and it will serve the purpose that the petitioner has explained to you. If there are any questions of the department, Ms. Keefe and I would be glad to try to answer them at this time.
Thank you, Director Unich. Any final comments or questions from the board for the department or otherwise? Seeing none, we will now close the proceeding for a vote. May I have a motion to approve, a motion to deny, or a motion to approve with conditions?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance request as submitted.
Thank you, Mr. Sprunger. Do we have a second? Thank you, Mr. Morris. We have a motion to approve as submitted. Mr. Morris, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Lux?
Yes.
Mr. Sprunger?
Approve.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
And I approve as well. Congratulations. The variance is approved.
Thanks, gentlemen. Have a good evening.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Farmer. This time we'll go ahead and move into the second request, please.
Mr. Chair and members of the board, as well as anyone on Zoom in attendance tonight, BA 27-23, Joshua and Gina Stevenson. The petitioners have requested a postponement to the December meeting of the board, so we will not be acting on that tonight. The next item, Mr. Chair, with your permission, is BA 28-23, Karen Huss, 415 Hunters Crossing Court, Wildwood, Missouri 63040, requests an exception to the minimum yard requirements general for the purpose of installing a new patio cover over an existing concrete pad upon the property located at 415 Hunters Crossing Court. Locator number 24U 430285, Hunter Crossing at Villages of Cherry Hill Subdivision, Plat 1, Lot 6, which would authorize a rear yard setback distance of 10 feet in lieu of the required 15 feet. This request is contrary to the requirements of Chapter 415.140, R3, 10,000 square foot resident district regulations of the City of Wildwood zoning ordinance and Planned Environment Unit, parenthetical PEU, amended ordinance 13188, approved by the St. Louis County Council in 1987. This particular property is located in Ward 8. And again, before Ms. Keefe provides the slide presentation, the department would like to enter into the record the following items. Chapter 400, Article 2 of the City of Wildwood Municipal Code, the Board of Adjustment. Chapter 415 of the same City of Wildwood Municipal Code, the zoning ordinance. The file that has been developed and maintained by the department regarding this particular request and all contents contained therein, including the department's report with recommendation. And then finally, any other evidence, testimony, plats, maps, photographs that are offered as evidenced at tonight's hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Munoz.
All right, Mr. Chair, members of the board, our next case this evening is located in southeastern Wildwood within the Hunters Crossing Village at the 7 Villages of Cherry Hills subdivision. The subject lot is 0.12 acres, and it has 53 feet of frontage along Hunters Crossing Court, which terminates into a cul-de-sac in the southern portion of it. This development was created under St. Louis County zoning ordinance and is zoned R3 10,000 square foot residence district, along with a planned environment unit, PEU, which provides for clustered residences around common areas. There's a single family dwelling located on the lot. It was built in 1987. And along with it, and the subject of this variance request is an existing 14-foot by 16-foot concrete pad in the rear yard area. It is 10 feet from the property line, the existing pad. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. No, that's okay. I just need to use the roller. All right, the petitioner this evening is requesting to build a new patio cover structure over this existing concrete pad, which you can see here. And again, this would be at a 10-foot setback distance in the rear yard instead of the required 15 by the zoning district and PEU. And this is a drawing of the patio cover structure. Its maximum height is 9 feet 4 inches. And it is to be white framed with a Florentine style post. This is the front of the residence looking west. This is looking southeast at the cul-de-sac area of Hunters Crossing Court. This is looking northwest of that same road. This is looking south, and here you can see that existing concrete pad in the petitioner's rear yard area. This is looking west at the adjacent property to the rear. This is the patio, or this is the existing concrete area where the patio would be located. This is looking southwest at another, or sorry, this is looking northwest at the next door. Or sorry, no, here we are. Okay, here's the patio or the existing concrete pad area, and then we're looking northwest at another neighbor. All right, this is looking southwest at another neighbor from the patio area. This is the rear of the subject residence. These are similar variances that have been approved in the immediate area, all having to do with rear yard setbacks. So you can see one here and one here. And there have been a couple written comments received by the department. There were two, one in support, one in opposition, that were within the public notification area, but not in close proximity to the residents. We also have a letter from the subject or from the petitioner's neighbor to the rear, who happens to also be a relative who would also enjoy said structure, very much in support of it. And that concludes my presentation. The department is here to answer your questions if you have them.
Thank you, Ms. Keefe. At this time, will the petitioner please come forward, state his or her name, address, relation to the property, and then be sworn in by the court reporter.
Karen Huss, owner of the property at 415 Hunters Crossing.
Okay, please raise your hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Ms. Huss, if you could please state explain the nature of the request and hardship as it relates to the variance.
Yeah, thank you. So I moved in that house in 2007. The existing patio was there, had a wonderful tree back there that provided shade. I lost that a couple of years ago. We've planted a new tree, but it will be many, many years before it will provide shade. So my neighbor 2 doors down last year got a new patio cover. Amazing. And they're able to enjoy their backyard. And so I investigated doing the same and hope you can approve.
Thank you, Ms. Huss. Anything else you'd like to add?
My sister and brother-in-law are the neighbors across the back. They purposely bought that house when it went up for sale so we could retire together, and we share the backyard. Our dogs share the backyard. You can see the fence was taken down so that we could increase the backyard and enjoy it together.
Saw the path as well. That's
Yeah.
I was wondering.
We were wearing a path, so we might as well put one in.
Yep. Any questions for Ms. Huss? Yep. Oh, okay. Yep. Any questions for the petitioner? Okay. Anybody online or in person here that speak would like to speak, please come forward.
My name is Tony Hobbs. I'm with Patriot Sunrooms. We're the ones that's going to be constructing our patio cover.
Just a moment, we'll get you sworn
Sure.
in here, Mr. Hobbs. You said Mr. Hobbs?
Hobbs, Hobbs.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Hobbs.
So yes, I work for Patriot Sunrooms, 811 South Kirkwood Road. I'm one of the project managers, and yes, I'm representing Karen as well. And it's a maintenance-free structure. It'll keep her out of the elements, rain, snow, and they look real well with the house. She'll enjoy it. So, anyways, that's all I got.
Any questions
Any
for
questions?
Mr. Hobbs on the installation or materials? Okay. Appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
We had one more speaker. Could please state your name, address, relation to the property, and we'll get you sworn in.
My name is Mark Hayek, address 422 Oriole Hill Court, Ward 8, and I'm here as a representative of the Master Homeowners Association of the Villages of Cherry Hills. I'm currently the treasurer.
Just a moment here, we'll get you sworn in.
Okay.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Only comment was this came up at our board meeting a couple of nights back. Sense of the board was fine. We have no problems with it. It does not impact any of the master common ground. So we're fine with it. That's it.
Easy enough. Thank you. Appreciate your feedback. Any additional speakers in the audience or via Zoom that would like to speak in favor or opposition?
Mr. Chair, I do not see any raised hands.
Thank you. Would anybody like to hear the oral presentation of the department's report? Seeing none. Any final comments from the department?
Mr. Chair, members of the board, the department is recommending approval. Clearly, there is a benefit to multiple homeowners in this area. It seems to have minimal impact to surrounding properties, and there's still a good 10-foot setback distance from the rear property line. And given that it's being built over an existing impervious surface area, we are recommending approval. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Keefe. Any other final comments from the board? Seeing none, we will close this proceeding for a vote. Can I have a motion to approve, a motion to deny, or a motion to approve with conditions?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Lux. Do I have a second to approve? Thank you, Mr. Lee. Mr. Morris, how do you vote?
Approve.
Mr. Lux?
Approve.
Mr. Sprunger?
Approve.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
And I vote to approve as well. Congratulations, your variance is approved. Thank you. We'll move right into the third request for the evening.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the third and final request is BA 29-23, David Whitman, 18533 Wild Horse Creek Road, Wildwood, Missouri, 63005. Request an exception to the minimum yard requirements general for the purpose of authorizing the installation of new pool equipment that is part of the in-ground pool, which is planned but does not require a variance, all on the property located at 18533 Wild Horse Creek Road, St. Louis County locator number 19X 610040. A tract of land in U.S. Survey 134, Section 15, Township 45 North, Range 3 East, thereby authorizing a western side yard setback distance of 11 feet in lieu of the 30-foot standard for the same. The request is contrary to the requirements of Chapter 415.090 NU non-urban resident district regulations of the City of Wildwood zoning ordinance. And this particular property is located in Ward 1. And again, as with the other two requests, before Ms. Keefe begins her presentation, the department would like to enter into the record the following items. Chapter 400, Article 2 of the City of Wildwood Municipal Code, the Board of Adjustment. Chapter 415 of the same City of Wildwood Municipal Code, the zoning ordinance. The file that has been developed and maintained by the Department of Planning regarding this request and all contents contained therein, including the department's report with recommendation. And then finally, any other testimony, evidence, plats, maps, or other items offered as part of tonight's hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Unich.
All right, Mr. Chair, members of the board, our final case this evening involves a subject lot located in the far northern part of Wildwood to the north side of Wildwood Horse Creek Road and west of Route 109. The lot in question is 1.2 acres in size, which makes it a non-conforming lot within the non-urban residence district, which has a minimum of 3 acres. However, it is legally non-conforming given that it was platted in 1965. It is rectangular with 150 feet of frontage along Wild Horse Creek Road and a depth of 350 feet on average. There is a new single-family dwelling located within the lot, along with a circular driveway improvement, an extensive retaining wall system, given the site's topography, and a new in-ground swimming pool. The site is primarily wooded with a severe slope that descends 100 feet to the north, to the rear of it. The dwelling is located on the most level portion of the lot. However, as noted, it is supported by that extensive retaining wall system. The petitioner is requesting authorization from the board this evening to install pool equipment within the western setback yard area and to the west of the retaining wall. And this would authorize 11 feet in lieu of the required 30 feet in the non-urban residence district. This is looking northwest at the front of the residence. This is looking slightly southwest along Wild Horse Creek Road. This is the neighbor across the way. This is looking northeast along Wild Horse Creek Road. And this is looking at that western side yard setback area, looking northwest. Here you have a view of that western portion of the retaining wall system. This is looking north. There is definitely still some construction going on. We're looking east, and here you can see the beginnings of the in-ground swimming pool. This is looking northwest. Don't press it. Okay. So this is, oops. I apologize for some of the technical errors this evening. We are down a clicker. So this is looking east, and the closest neighbor to the residence is just through these trees on the eastern side of the lot. And this is looking southeast again on that western side. And to give you a sense of that western side, who's looking at this retaining wall area, well, it's got an extensive tree buffer right there. Okay, this is looking south. And we're at that western portion of the retaining wall, just to give you a sense of how tall it is. And this is looking southeast, again, from that western side area. As you can see, there is a bit of a slope even down from the road where this pool equipment would be located. Important to this case, I believe, is the recent variance history. This home, the retaining wall improvement and the swimming pool, the in-ground swimming pool was all approved as part of a variance request in December of 2021, where the Wildwood Board of Adjustment granted a western side yard setback distance of 15 feet in lieu of 30 feet for the retaining wall, and a western side yard setback of 25 feet in lieu of the required 30 feet for the single family residence, along with some additional variances as well. These variances in a package probably dictated the placement of this pool equipment as we're examining it today, because this was all determined based on the findings of fact for that variance request. And that might be, oh, that is my last slide. It should just be noted that the neighbor across the street is in support of the variance request and is aware of the plans for the pool. Thank you. The department is available for questions at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Keefe. This time, will the petitioner please come forward, state his or her name, address, relation to the property, and be sworn in by the court reporter?
How you doing? I'm David Whitman at 18533 Wild Horse Creek Road, owner of the property, and my wife, Erin Whitman, is behind me.
We'll get you sworn in here, Mr. Whitman.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
If you could, Mr. Whitman, explain the nature of the request, the hardship and practical difficulty.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank the police officer was in here. My dad was a Dallas police officer. I want to thank him for serving us. I want to thank the city of Wildwood and this board for multiple structure issues with that property. I've owned it for 20 years. And I want to thank everybody for working with our builder, architect, and myself on all those approvals. And the situation with the pool equipment at the end, maybe we should have asked for this at the beginning when we asked for that massive wall that you talked about to put this thing in. But it's ultimately where the pool equipment would have been an obstruction to every view of the home and everywhere and on the right side of the home. And where it will be placed, where there's the neighbor to the left has 8 acres and multiple, there's 3 acres between us and lots of woods that we could place it to the left of that wall. I think it's 8 by 4 feet to the wall that you showed, and it would be no obstructions. The Larry McGowan and Sherry McGowan across the street, which it would affect ultimately if they could see it. I don't think they will. Will be covered. They will not see that because one of the slope that you showed, and 2, Joanne Larimore, if y'all know her name, she'll be doing all the landscaping and is trusted that we will cover that pool equipment to the ultimate max. And that's the approval we're asking for. It's a great property. I've owned it 20 years. We got a vast investment there. And I think, the integrity of Wildwood, as I've been out there since 2006, when I built in Wild Horse Spring Farms on Roe Bridge, I understand what y'all are trying to achieve here long-term, and we are going to retain that integrity and utmost. And this request for the pool equipment to be there, we will achieve that goal as well.
Thank you, Mr. Whitman. Any questions for the petitioner?
Maybe one real quick one. The department, and I'm sure you've read this, is recommending approval contingent upon landscaping to further hide the equipment and 2 low height berms. Do you know what that means?
The berms?
Yeah.
It probably would be a dirt mound beyond the landscaping.
Okay.
But we have plenty of dirt there. So
I'm sure you do.
And we will, we don't want to see the pool equipment. Unfortunately, it's a negative effect of all pools.
Sure.
And covering it up will be the utmost for us and to maintain the integrity of what we all see there. And whoever went out and took the pictures understands what we're trying to achieve there. And you can assure that we will achieve the covering of that pool equipment.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Whitman? Mr. Lee?
As far as the berms go, I understand why we're doing that, but let's make sure we do not create a drainage issue and a channel where a lot of water's coming through there, because it'll erode our soils and we don't want that. So be careful with the berms, I guess, is my recommendation.
Mr. Lee, thank you. From the perspective of the department, when it identifies a low height berm, I'm thinking somewhere around 12 to 24 inches. And that it just gives a boost, so to speak, to the existing land or the proposed landscaping, as well as the mass of the berm may help with a little bit with the noise, because they do generate a certain amount of noise when operating.
So you're thinking that the landscaping will be on the berm just to help?
Yes.
With the coverage.
Yes,
okay.
Just jumpstart and I'm sure after all the construction on that side of the lot, unless there's a lot of topsoil brought in, a nice berm would give a nice fertile ground for the landscaping to get a start.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments for Mr. Whitman? Questions? Seeing none, anyone in the on the Zoom platform that has any questions?
Mr. Chair, I do not see any raised hands.
Anybody like to hear an oral presentation of the department's report? Thank you, Mr. Whitman.
We're good. Thank you. You can ensure I'll do the right things out there. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no desire for it's an interesting way to say it, oral presentation of the department's report. Any final comments from the department?
Mr. Chair, members of the board, the department is recommending approval contingent upon landscaping and those low-lying berms. This undersized lot with a very challenging topography is dictated where the current improvements exist. And the petitioner is clearly willing to do what it takes to mitigate the impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Keefe. Any other final comments from the board? This time we will close the proceeding for a vote. Can I have a motion to approve, a motion to deny, or a motion to approve with conditions?
I'll make a motion to approve the request contingent upon, or the variance contingent upon the landscaping plan and the 2 low height berms.
Thank you, Ms. Sprunger. We have a motion to approve with the conditions as stated. Second that. Thank you, Mr. Lux. Mr. Morris, how do you vote?
Approve.
Mr. Lux,
Approve.
Mr. Sprunger,
Approve.
Mr. Lee. And I vote to approve as well. Congratulations, your variance is approved.
Mr. Chair, that's the last of the cases tonight, and I think Robin and I would like to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Thank you to the department as well. Happy Thanksgiving. And we will now consider this hearing closed. Thank you, everybody.